Welcome to Miami, Florida, at Lone Depot Park for the coverage of the Echo Energy NL Wildcard game. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins taking each other on in a one-game showdown to see who will advance to the NLDS. These teams tied in the season series 3-3. They're even in terms of that. But the Marlins were 88-74. The Cardinals 84-79. Cardinals had to play that tiebreaker game 2 days ago against the Colorado Rockies, but they're here. They've made it to the wild card game. All right, Lou, what do you think about how this game's gonna go?
Well, it's gonna be a pretty tough ask for the Cardinals. In pretty much every statistic, they're lacking behind, and especially with the injury of Brendan Waddle in the tiebreaker game, they have a big hole that's been filled by Kenner Khalifa, which, well, he's doing his best, but it probably won't be enough.
All right, here's your starting pitcher for the Miami Marlins. It's Aaron Civale. He's been their number one guy all year. He's going to take the mound here. 2.78 ERA, 14-9 this year. Pretty solid. He's been more of a contact pitcher this year, but still, that does play to the strengths of this team. All right. First up, it's Starling Marte for the Cardinals. First pitch is fouled off, and we're underway here from Miami. And the Echo Energy wildcard game.
Civale, the starter here for the Marlins, their best pitcher, and by quite a lot. So seems like they're putting a lot on this game, surprisingly. The rest of their pitching is, well, of their starting pitchers at least, are pretty abysmal. Wouldn't be the right word, but they're not high quality. They're not playoff quality. So it'll be interesting to see.
Fouled off.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if they do advance after today.
Marte fouls that one back. And yeah, the Marlins have not had the greatest pitching. Their pitching with our ESN insights, their pitching is ranked at 28th out of all 30 major league teams. So the Marlins have kind of struggled with pitching, but 88 wins, nothing to scoff at. Because that one's high, that cutter's high. 3-2 here to Starling Marte, the first batter of the ball game. Swings and misses at that one, and there's the first out. Civale with the strikeout to open the ball game here in Miami.
Oh.
I don't know what he's doing.
He was a bit confused as to where he was supposed to go.
Isaiah Kiner Falefa up. Not much experience this season, and he shoots the first pitch right back to the pitcher. All right, here's their Subway starting lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. Who catches your eye here?
It's probably between Turner and Amber. They've both been pretty much the two biggest strengths, at least that are remaining here for the Cardinals. So it's definitely going to be those two. They don't have a great back end of their hitting rotation, and they don't have a great start now because of the injury. So they're really going to be the really only two, not assured hit, but that's the out, and so mid of the first here.
Turner grounds out to third, scoreless. Welcome back to Miami here. Zach Wheeler, the starter for the Cardinals. He actually had more wins above replacement than anybody in the Cardinals hitting rotation coming into this game. 15-9, 2.17 ERA, great ERA, just over 2. So Wheeler's been their ace this season. What do you expect out of him today?
Probably to carry his team here because otherwise there isn't a lot of they don't have a great relievers, so it's pretty much him that's gonna carry a team. He needs to have a good outing, stay here as long as possible, and just keep it at null ideally.
The Cardinals, the middle of the Cardinals bullpen hasn't been great. The end of the bullpen, specifically closer Paul Sewald, has been very good. He actually led the NL in saves. He had 52, including his save in the tiebreaker game against the Rockies. Joey Wendell, first batter for the Marlins. Marlins, not stellar in terms of base running speed, but they're better than the Cardinals. They're ranked 8th according to our ESN Insights. Cardinals are 10th. Wendell flies out to the center field where Marte is able to grab that one. So first out of the game here for the Marlins. All right, here's the Marlins starting lineup. Who catches your eye here for the Marlins?
Well, obviously, Austin Riley has had a very, very good season. Same thing for Max Muncy. But in general, it's more of a team effort for the Marlins. Pretty much their entire lineup is pretty good. It's above the average for the league. So that's really where they're gonna get their good game here. And not necessarily with the pitching, although again with C Valley starting, it's that would be good, but he's a good pitcher. But after that, it's gonna be not the greatest for them. So it's really up to them to score some points here. And
so Brandon Crawford is the second one up here. Crawford's been all right this season. 56 RBI, 14 home runs. He's one of those good middle of the top 3 hitters. Lines that one out to right field, where that one's grabbed by Conforto for the second out. All right, here's Fernando Tatis Jr. Missed quite a bit of time during the regular season, so his numbers are a bit low, but he had 31 stolen bases and still led the team in stolen bases. 250 his average. He had 100 hits over the season. 63 RBI, 28 home runs. Tatis, one of the best power hitters, one of those best power and speed hitters. So Tatis has been the real magnum opus for the Marlins, but they've missed his help quite a bit for quite a few games this season. Swings through that one, through that curveball. And he swings and misses at another curveball just on the corner. And 1, 2, 3 both ways here in the first inning. Scoreless from Miami after 1. And welcome back here to Miami. Jose Abreu now up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Led the team in home runs and RBI this year. The only player on the Cardinals that managed to eclipse that 100 RBI marker. So Abreu's a great power hitter, and in the tiebreaker game, he also came up pretty clutch in that one as well.
Yeah, possibly a career year for him.
But that tiebreaker game, very interesting. You know, the Cardinals are going to have a bit less rest than the Marlins do because they had to play that extra game to get their spot here. So how that factors in is really interesting because they've played an extra game. They played 163 games instead of 162. As Reyes swings through that one for the strikeout. But what do you think that the tiebreaker game really does for these teams that have to play it?
Well, yes, it's a bit extenuating, but overall, it's not a massive difference. You still get a day of rest in the end. It's still, you know, all right. You don't see a massive difference, especially considering how that tiebreaker game went, where both teams were sort of really low energy. It wasn't a action-packed game that went to the extra innings. It was a pretty mundane affair, we could say. So,
Lined right
so yeah.
to third baseman there for the second out. Chris Bryant. He hit that one pretty hard, but just could not get anything from it. Here's DJ LeMahieu. Batted second.
That third baseman, first baseman combination is been pretty great. Muncy and Raleigh, both really good defensive players as well as offensive players. So they're really the standouts of that Marlins team. Even if again, most of the team is pretty good.
And LeMahieu
But overall,
batted. Go ahead.
yeah. Overall, that outfield is in general very strong. According to the ESN Insights, second, and it's not very surprising. I mean, we've seen already the defense doing a lot of good plays. They weren't necessarily close, but with slower players, they would have been close. So it's really when that.
It's grounded to the shortstop, and that'll be the end of that half inning. Scoreless still here in Miami. Nobody's gotten on base yet in this one from either side. Welcome back here to Miami. Max Muncy now up, stepping up to the plate here for the Marlins. And he's had a bit of an interesting year, 41 home runs, but not great on the batting average. Only hitting at 200 on the season. But he still led the team in wins above replacement for the position players. So interesting season for Max Muncy. His contributions in the batter's box have really not been much, but I think his contributions defensively have mattered way more.
Yes, indeed. And yes, it doesn't. A 200 doesn't seem that great, but you gotta take it, more relatively. Usually, it didn't happen this time because they're really good. Maybe there's a bit of pressure for both teams that cause a little bit more errors. But usually, when Muncy gets in and there's already a runner on base, so he's a power hitter. He just has to run it way deep and let somebody get a run. It's not really just. He's great at his position, and you don't necessarily need more. Obviously, always better when you hit a little bit more, but he's perfectly fine for right.
Once he strikes out there. Here's Austin Riley, led the team in batting average and home runs and RBI. Well, he was actually tied for the team lead in home runs, but
with Muncy, back to back,
swings through that one. And he lines that one foul.
Wheeler relying a lot on his fastball.
Yeah, he was getting strikeouts on the curveball earlier, but he's kind of turning back to the fastball, and he gets the four-seamer there. Wheeler's got a lot of velocity, 98 on that. That one was clocked at 98, but that was well inside.
Yeah, but not a lot of precision, at least compared to his curveball here.
Strikes him out though with the slider.
Yep.
That slider's still pretty good, 90 miles per hour on the slider. That's something that, you know, even the off-speed stuff being at 90 miles per hour.
Well, you gotta be careful with that. You don't want to burn that too quickly, because you know he's gonna have a second time he's gonna see all these hitters. So he's gotta keep his best stuff for what's coming, and can't necessarily just bring his slider, which is definitely his best pitch, at least from what we've seen. And
it's a ground out. Ground out to third, so nothing doing there for Miami. Scoreless and base runnerless so far in this one. Alright, welcome back to Miami. Michael Conforto is up for this Cardinals here as we begin the third inning.
I was gonna say they don't expect a lot from Conforto, Biggio, and Lee, who are coming next. But they've had a pretty good tiebreaker game, so maybe a bit of momentum going into the playoffs. But
well, Conforto didn't play in the tiebreaker game against the Rockies. He had the game off because for matchup purposes. But his replacement Casey Golden managed to get a double and scored a run. And Biggio was able to get an RBI in that one. That one's well up there, but it's called for a strike. And Conforto does not look particularly happy about that one. Look at the pitch repertoire. Chevalier used his four-seamer a lot there.
Yes. Probably works well against Conforto.
Yeah, Chevalier's fastball not as fast as we saw Wheeler's earlier, but it's pretty good. It's pretty well up there.
You know, the speed isn't everything. Obviously, with a fastball, it's the more important component. But you can still have a pretty good fastball, even if it's not the quickest. You just gotta be.
You gotta be good at placing it.
Yeah.
Kevin Biggio drove in the game-winning run against what turned out to be the game-winning run against the Rockies. That one's well inside, almost hits Biggio. Swings at that one, but it's fouled.
Already, we've seen a lot of 3-2s in this game. A lot of 3-2s, and when they're not 3-2s. Usually they don't. Usually they get a. Hit and
you waved just right over that cutter. Here's Corey Lee now. Lee, the catcher, kind of just here is because he's a catcher. But Lee isn't the worst in terms of hitting.
Oh.
Skies that one to right center, but that one's going to be run down and caught by Phillips. And that will do it for that half inning. Cardinals hitless through the order. We'll head down to the bottom of the third. Scoreless. Welcome back to Miami. Here's Andrew Vaughn now up for the Miami Marlins. Kind of reaching that bottom end of the order, but Vaughn had a pretty solid batting average, even though he didn't play in every game. He's played. He's got a pretty solid batting average, 820 on the OPS as well.
Yes, Vaughn's pretty good at batting, and then you get Phillips and Mike Ivor. That'll be less good, but those are more defensive players. Yes, Vaughn is pretty good, and generally, well, we don't have.
Oh,
Oh no!
just barely got through there. And Vaughn just squeaks that one right through the infield, just past Biggio.
I wonder
And
if
hey,
he got tricked a little bit. It might have been a bounce or something because of the change in surfaces with the dirt for the diamond itself.
I think that one would have been tough to get anyways because of where it was placed on the ground.
Well,
So
hey.
Brett Phillips up. First base runner of the game for either team now. Andrew Vaughn gets a base hit into right field.
You would have told me that the first run on base of this game would have been Andrew Vaughn in the third. I would have been pretty surprised. But a very good pitching duel today.
So far, yeah, been a pretty solid pitching duel. That one's fouled off. Curveball up into the seats after Phillips skies it. One's pretty well outside. Looking for power statistics. If you're looking for power, the Marlins have a lot of power. On our ESN Insights, the Marlins rank second in terms of power, and the Cardinals rank 25th out of all 30 teams. So, Marlins are a great power hitting team. Not particularly great in the contact hitting department.
Yeah,
And I think that kind of plays to... That's going to play to Wheeler's strength here, I think.
Power isn't worth much if you can't contact.
Yeah. The 3-2 to Phillips here. Skies that one foul again.
But you know, if I'm the Marlins, that's something that you can fix in the off season.
Yeah.
At least partially. So we only if I'm the Marlins if I'm
Oh!
a Marlins fan. Oh.
That got him right on the ass.
Yep, indeed.
And that will put 2 on now.
Second and first, and now we are going to see Wendell and Crawford, and that might be bigger threats than what we're seeing right now with McIver.
Willie McIver is up here. Had 3 RBIs, 7 hits on 70 plate appearances, so a 100 batting average. Skies that one to right. That's going to drop over the head of the right fielder. Conforto just missed it, and that's going to score at least 2. McIver's going all the way. Phillips crosses the plate, and the Marlins take 2 on an RBI triple from Willie McIver.
Well, that wasn't what we expected. Look at that. That was a good jump, a good effort, but yes, nobody was behind him, and that was more the issue. It took them a bit of time to get there.
McIver almost went for the inside the Parker there. But here's Joey Wendell. Hey, could you imagine that? We kind of talked about how he hasn't been all that stellar in times of hitting, and he ends up going around for a triple there and drives in 2.
But that's only his 8th hit and 71 at bat this season. So there's reasons to say what we're saying, but hey, sometimes these bottom of the rotation players are more effective when they're under pressure, when they're in bigger circumstances than on your regular game.
Wendell strikes out there, so finally able to get an out here. Take a look at Wheeler's pitch repertoire for the strikeout. He was not very accurate with that four-seamer, but he got Wendell to chase at it just because of that high speed, 98 miles per hour with that four-seamer. Pretty good.
I think that might have been a bit of a. I think that might have been a bit of a, an attempt at tricking him, and yes, it's a four-seamer, but it seemed pretty curvy for one. So
Yeah.
it was definitely on the limit.
Outside again there to Crawford. Gold Glover last year, Brandon Crawford was. So he's a great defensive player. That one, I'm surprised that was called a strike. That was pretty well outside the zone, but 2-1.
Probably won't.
Lines that one up. McIver will score. Will get the out on Crawford, but it is 3-0 on the RBI groundout. As Brandon Crawford drives one in probably my favorite way to see an RBI, which is the RBI groundout. So here's Fernando Tatis Jr.
I prefer the RBI walk. A bit of a more comedic effect to it, I guess.
Actually, well, my favorite one is the RBI grounded into double play. That one's always fun. One's in the dirt. Those are always fun because it's like, man, you lost two outs, but you got a run scored, which is like maybe the most like worthless way to score a run ever. Tatis swings through that one and misses. So third out here in the third. The Marlins score 3 on an RBI triple by Willie McIver. It's 3-0 after 3. Welcome back to Miami. Starling Marte up for the second time today. Struck out swinging to open the ball game. Chivali yet to allow a base runner.
Look at that betting line. It's going heavily in Miami's favor right now.
At the win probability graph well in favor of Miami right now, but you never know what's going to happen. As with our FanDuel win probability has Miami well up there, but
what would discourage me as a if I was a Cardinals fan is that Civali is only up to 40 pitches, and it's the 4th.
Yeah.
So you might stay here until maybe the 6th, 7th, depending on how much they want to rest him. Not.
Marte struck out there. Kiner Falefa now up for the second time. Cardinals still haven't gotten a base runner on yet in this one. Kiner Falefa fouls that one to the left side. Gold Glover Kiner Falefa was at third base in 2020.
Interesting. I didn't get to see a lot of plates here.
Grounds that one to second. They'll throw him out. So 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. There's Trey Turner.
Either this inning or the next, the Cardinals just need to get at least one it in, just for motivation purposes. It's really hard to pull a team up when they're demotivated. Nothing more demotivating than just not being able to hit. And you're starting to see it a little bit here. This inning we've seen quite a few swings that were quite let's say not the smartest. And good effort here. Defense. The middle of the fourth. We'll be right back here on ESN. We're back here on ESN. Up next, Max Muncy. 0-1 for the Marlins, and obviously the Marlins have had a bit of difficulties heading at the beginning of the game. It all changed in the third inning when they scored 3 runs on 2 hits. We're already starting to see a bit of a discrepancy between Wheeler and Valley, but it's still been a pretty good game from both of them. And this is fouled away.
Muncy has Muncie's kind of been one of those all or nothing type hitters, but you know, oh, that was
went for a very misplaced.
He almost went for it, but he checked it just in time.
Oh, yeah.
2-2.
Please.
As again, as I was saying, Muncie's been kind of one of those players who's been very all or nothing, but I think he can afford, you know, they're up by a decent bit. He can afford to kind of take a chuck at something if he wants to. Wheeler's repertoire is just, it's very fascinating because he's got that slider that's at 92. That's a very high speed for a slider. Dives for it, he knocks it down, but he's not going to be able to get Muncy out. And Biggio is being visited by the trainer, and this does not look good. So the Cardinals are going to be taking Biggio out from this one. It looks like he's going to be wheeled off on the cart.
Yeah, Phil had a pretty bad fall on the last play here. Brock Holt.
New second baseman for the Cardinals is Brock Holt here.
Played a few games. Had a season that pretty much is on average with what Biggio had. Not as good as of a defensive player, but compensated by being slightly better offensively.
So here's Riley. Muncy got credit for a hit there on that last play. That's not an error because Biggio dived for it and he was able to knock it down. I'm not sure if they really would have gotten the out anyways.
No.
But he definitely saved that from being more dangerous than it was.
I mean, there was a player right behind him. Yes, he could have gone to maybe second, but I don't think it would have been more. But oh, that was very close to
That almost hit him. That was a sinker that at 96. That's he's got a
good speed in his pitches. After quite a few pitches as well. So. Oh. But he's starting to lose precision here.
Yeah, Wheeler's starting to really lose precision. Riley fouls that one off.
But you know what? I don't know if I mind that much if I'm the Cardinals right now. Pretty good bullpen, so not worried too much. Obviously, you want to keep your starter as long as possible when you're in a situation.
Swings and misses at that one. Strikeout number 6 on the day for Wheeler. So now up it's Avisail Garcia.
Can get a good and very tricky to intercept ground balls. So need to be very careful with that.
Wonder if Wheeler's kind of trying to play for the double play ball here, maybe. Get a ground ball. Get both Muncy and Wheeler, or get both Muncy and Garcia, excuse me. Muncy's not that fast of a runner, so. Fouled off again by Garcia. And now Wheeler's kind of returning to that fastball. I think Wheeler's off-speed stuff is just kind of hurting him. A lot of those pitches that have kind of slipped out have been the off-speed stuff. Oh, but he got Garcia to swing at a bad pitch. 2 out. Strikeout number 7 for Wheeler.
The idea of a possible double play is it could be possible with a team fast like the Marlins, but Cardinals are pretty slow in general, so it would be kind of hard to get a double play on a ground ball, but it could be possible with a bit of luck.
Here's Andrew Vaughn. Pops that one to the right side, but that's going to be foul. That's going to drop, and it'll be foul, so he'll get another chance.
We continue to see a good game from him.
Yeah, he's already got a hit in this one. Last inning got a hit and then came in to score. Fouls the slider off. Wheeler's worked a bit this inning. He's already up to 74 pitches. I can't imagine we'll see him go for more than one more inning after this.
No, likely not, except if the 5th inning is surprisingly short. Which is possible, you know. You could get lucky and throw 4 or 5 pitches.
That one's grounded to the shortstop. They'll get Vaughn at first.
That was
so
very risky.
Down.
They could have thrown to second, but hey.
End of the 4th, still 3-0 Miami. We'll be back. Welcome back here to Miami. Top of the 5th inning here. Jose Abreu now up for the Cardinals. Still yet to get a man on base, St. Louis is. But now, second time through the order. Abreu's going to be looking to try and change that. 839 OPS for Abreu this season.
Cervelli has had a lot of variety in his pitching today, so that's really sort of what proposed the Marlins, I believe, today. And also, quite a few good defensive plays. 51 pitches in the 5th. Well, let's see if he has a bad inning like Wheeler just had. If he does, then this effect that we're starting to see will be null dead, but otherwise it might be very hard for Cardinals to come back.
Well, if they can't get a base runner, it would be very hard for them to come back. Yeah, Chevali's been using a lot of different pitches. You know, I've seen the 4-seamer. He's got that curveball. He's got that fastball. He's got that the splitter, the sinker. He'll get Abreu there on the curveball. 2 down. Strikeout number 6 for Chevali. Yeah.
His back pitches, maybe with his fastball.
So Chris Bryant takes that cutter for strike 1.
You know, if I'm the manager of the Marlins, I'm starting to wonder. At one point, is it more worth it to try to conserve the valley for maybe a future game if the Marlins were to advance, as that's the second half. Yes, if they were to advance, and currently they look like obviously they still have a lot of game to play, but it doesn't look like it's gonna improve next inning for the Cardinals as they're gonna start next inning with the back of their rotation. So
Well, yeah.
yes,
Chivali hasn't
at,
went.
at what at what point do you decide just save him and avoid an injury? Because if Kivali gets injured here, then the Marlins are screwed. They're completely screwed.
I think you let him go for the perfect game until he gives it up. If it gets that deep, and he's still not letting it, and he still hasn't allowed a hit.
If he were to get a perfect game here, that would be quite incredible.
Do it in probably one of the most important games of the year. That'd be his storyline.
It to really throw away the argument that we've seen that there's some kind of issue with the Marlins bullpen. Is that's gonna be the out in the middle of the
That'll
fifth.
be caught in left field. Middle of the fifth, halfway through. 3-0 Marlins. Cardinals yet to get a base runner in this one.
Ow.
Welcome back here to Miami. Echo Evans Ross with Ludovic Schret here in the booth from Lone Depot Park. As we are just about ready to start the bottom of the fifth inning.
Yes, I was saying before the commercial, but there's been quite a quite a bit of speculation that they need to do a bit of a change up in terms of their training staff for their pitching. But obviously, a perfect game would kind of throw that narrative out of it.
The field, that's going to bounce off the wall, so Phillips will get at least two. Throws it in, and it's a double, and it's a leadoff double for Brett Phillips to begin the fifth inning. Great piece of hitting here.
And it's the back of the rotation for the Marlins that have given them the edge today, really.
Yeah.
Let's see if McIver can do something.
McIver's already got 2 RBI in this one. He got that triple in the third inning. And then he came around to score.
You gotta think as well. Some of these lower players, they've got to prove themselves that they're good for the league and that they're good play next season if their contract expires. And that's a great way of proving it in a nationally televised playoff game that you're a very valuable player. So a lot of these players are taken seriously, and that's maybe why we see a bit more of a collective effort as well as obviously a team tends to be more federated when they're in a situation where they can actually win something. That's of value.
Joey Wendell now up 0 for 2 so far in this one. That's high, but it's in the zone, 0 and 2. Yeah, I mean, if you're one of those players who hasn't played a lot, especially like for McIver, who's kind of just here, he got that call up from as a rookie, performed well enough in the month that he played in for the Marlins to keep him on their postseason roster and makes an impact already. And I think that's something that you got to keep an eye on if you're a team, looking at rookies looking at players that you might want to yoink from other teams during the postseason.
Definitely, you gotta think that there's a lot of teams that are trying to, at least just to make it into the playoffs, and a factor that's often disregarded is the depth of your team, and those players, they're usually low pay, quite discounted, but very effective in pressure situations often.
Wendell
So
struck out looking.
that
He
makes
was
them pretty valuable players if you're a team that's trying to get into playoffs.
Wendell was not happy with that strike call there. And see, he had a little few words there for the umpire. I think a fair few players have not been happy with some of the ball and strike calls in this one, but what can you do, really? You just gotta take it. Here's Crawford. Crawford lines that one foul to the left side. Just on the corner. Runner is going. Phillips ran. He's safe. Throw was high. And Phillips gets the stolen base. 10 stolen bases Phillips had in the regular season. And he steals one right here in a very important spot. But Crawford swings right through that one on the inside, and it's all for naught. Left one on at third. 3-0 Marlins after 5. Welcome back to Miami. Here's Michael Conforto.
Leading off for the Cardinals, the right fielder, number 30.
Leading things off here in the top of the 6th for the Cardinals. Takes the ball low. Now Conforto's got a pretty rare 2-ball count. 2-ball, no strikes count. This is a perfect time, I think, for Conforto to maybe make something happen in terms of hitting. That one low, 3-1.
He can certainly try something, but what's going to be interesting is you got
They call ball.
You got Holt. Oh.
So Conforto will make it to first here. First base runner of the day for the Cardinals on the walk to Conforto. Here's Brock Holt, yet to step up to the plate in this one. Came in as a defensive replacement, and now he's here for his first at bat of the game.
Yeah, now I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be the last inning of Savali.
I think they might leave him in for one more. His pitch count isn't too high. When his pitch count starts to get up into the 80s, I think that's when I'd start looking at taking him out.
Yeah. Each pitch is counted in playoffs now, so it's definitely a choice, but it'll depend on that kind of thing. Yeah, depends on the manager and especially the player.
This one's popped up. This one is in a bit of an odd spot, but that will be caught by Crawford for the out. One down here.
Now batter, the catcher,
Corey Lee now up for St. Louis. Well, it's not a perfect game anymore, but it is a no-hitter right now still for Chivali.
A no-hitter is not the worst kind of, you know, obviously everyone is happy with a no-hitter, but will he continue to get a no-hitter? And yeah, his pitches seem to be decreasing in quality this inning, so...
Well, his pitch count's getting up there, up into the high 70s, and now he's starting to lose a little bit of precision, so you have to wonder, you know, he's trying to catch back up. This one's sky to right center. That is into the gap. That's going to drop, and that one will hop the fence for a automatic double. So first hit of the game for the Cardinals is right there. But I'm sure that that's not really where they wanted it. Would have wanted that to go because that puts the runners on second and third. And I feel like the runner on first could have easily scored. This one is a sac fly. Is it a sac fly? Yes, it is. Will be caught. Both runners will advance. And Conforto will score. So the Cardinals are on the board. It is 3-1, but they still have quite a bit of work to do.
And now it's Kenner Falefa who's up next, and it's gonna be a good challenge for him. He needs to get on base, or at least sacrifice himself for the run here.
Well, you can't sacrifice. There's 2 outs.
Oh yeah, yep. That's true. Yeah, he needs to get on base, basically.
He needs to get on.
It's a very tough situation for him. Hasn't had a lot of time to play here this year.
Well, he's up 3-0.
So, well, that would be a way to. That would be a way to make it.
Swinging 3-0, you think? Nope. Right down the middle strike there. That was a pretty off. That was an off-speed strike too. So. Probably pretty hittable.
If this was a regular MLB player, probably I would have swung, but nah, not for him. It's not worth it to take the risk. And,
he took the walk.
It was worth it.
So Trey Turner steps up now. Check back on the runner. Kiner Falefa is a pretty fast runner.
Turner, good hitter, best hitter of the team, but not a great power hitter. So
Turner played in all 163 games this year for the Cardinals. Check back on the runner. Make sure Kiner Falefa's staying where he is.
Time to clutch in for Turner.
That one's wide. 1-1. Wide again. Outside. 2-1 now. To Turner. And Chivali's really starting to lose control. This is where we're seeing now his form's just really falling off now. Misses again, 3-1. Your manager, I think you might want to go out there and just have a look at Chivali, talk to him and be like, hey man, you doing good there? Turner swings at that one. Fouls it off, though. Tight situation. Runners will probably be going here. Turner grounds that one right back to Chivali. Tosses it to first. That's the inning. So they get out of it without much of a scar. 3-1, middle of the 6th. Cardinals get a run on a sac fly. We'll be back. And we'll come back to Miami here. Bottom of the 6th, Fernando Tatis Jr. leading things off for the Marlins. Down the middle for a strike. I'm surprised they've left Wheeler in. Owens grounded to third. Tatis will just get beat there by about a couple steps for the first out of the inning. Like I was saying, I'm kind of surprised that Wheeler's still in the game.
I mean, outside of that one inning, it's been working. It hasn't been really. He has, let's say that his fall off has been way less steeper than Savali.
Well, Wheeler probably, I imagine this will probably be his last inning. Pretty well up there in the pitch count. Muncie's up, 1 for 2 so far in this one.
Probably, and they've got people they can replace him with that are, you know, pretty trustworthy.
So. 2-2. I think that Wheeler might just be staying in this long just because I think the Cardinals kind of want to not go too deep into their bullpen. Got him on the strikeout. That's a interesting call, but strikeout number 10 on the day for Zach Wheeler. Double-digit strikeouts, that's a pretty good mark, even if you're losing.
Well, ultimately, the reason he lost wasn't really a lot because of him, more because of the defense.
Here's Riley for the Marlins. 0 for 2 so far. Takes the slider outside. 41 home runs this year for Austin Riley. Been a great player. Been a great player offensively. Led the team in RBI. Had 115 RBI this year. Three 3-0 now to Riley as Wheeler is over the 100 pitch mark now at 101 pitches. Try to get this one back. Down the middle for Seamer. That'll be a strike. Riley taking all the way there. You can afford to take, I assume, with the 3-1 lead.
Probably. But,
tried to check his swing, couldn't hang on though. 3-2.
That's really dependent on the player, on how they feel about it. Some players are, you know, very secure with leads, and others often get quite anxious when they're ahead and don't want to blow it. So
swing and a miss for Riley. That'll do it for the 6th inning. Comes back from 3-0 down in the count to get that strikeout number 11 of the day for Wheeler. 3-1 after 6 here from Miami. Welcome back to Miami. Jose Abreu stepping up to the plate for the Cardinals. Chivali's still in there, so they're going to send him out another inning, I guess.
that's very interesting. Maybe they're going to try something different here.
Maybe.
They have to, because, well, whatever he did last inning wasn't working, and so you see people in the dugout, obviously.
That's the bullpen for the Marlins warming up. You got Romano and Strom.
What's up with those places of the stadium named after animals? You got the bullpen, you've got the dugout.
What's the dugout named after?
Well, Doug.
It's not spelled the same way though. It's a dugout, not a dog out.
Three 1. I've been awake for too long to think correctly.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. 3-2. Pitch to Abreu. Fouls that one off. Long at bat here. 8 pitches is 8. This at bat's gone for 8 pitches, and Abreu's trying to hang on and keeps this at bat alive. Or dragged Chevalier up to 100 pitches now.
Well, he knows that his strength is getting those big hits, and that's what he's trying to get. But he'll get a walk, and he'll be fine with that, I guess.
Chris Bryant steps up. That one's off the corner for a ball. And yeah, Chevalier's kind of started to lose a little bit of that edge. I think the Cardinals have kind of starting to figure him out here.
This is a very good opportunity for the Cardinals to.
Ground ball to short, and that'll be a double play.
I was gonna say it was going to be a great good opportunity for the Cardinals to score, but I guess no. Good double play from the Marlins. And oh, Savali stays in the game after that. All right. Well,
I have to get one more out here with LeMahieu up.
hey, I think they will have earned their win. It's for certain. And yeah,
Chevalier's kind of just not really sticking with it, but he's managing to keep things under control somewhat. This one's in a bit of an odd spot, but that one will get run down by Wendell for the out. 7th inning stretch time, 3-1. Miami leads it. We'll be back. Welcome back to Miami. New pitcher for the Cardinals, Clay Holmes, steps in. 6-5 this year with 96 games under the belt. Pretty solid choice, I think, for St. Louis here.
Then it definitely will be fine for an inning or two. Starts to get pretty mediocre on those longer shifts, but that won't be one of them. So you should be fine here, unless we get a hitting spree from Miami.
Well, Holmes did make a couple starts this year, so because the Cardinals had a bit of a lot of injury issues in their rotation. Gets the out there on Garcia, so 1 out here too. So quick ground out here to start the 7th. Andrew Vaughn stepping up for the Marlins. Bullpen still active for the Cardinals. Archie Bradley, Scott Alexander, both getting a couple warm-ups.
So maybe a very short presence from Holmes.
Chips that one to third. That one's going to be just in time to get Vaughn. 2 out.
Now batting, the center fielder, Brett Phillips.
Brett Phillips doubled earlier. Takes the ball, swings at that one, checks it back. 1-1 now.
And I think next inning, the 8th inning, will be really the inning to watch because we're gonna have at least Marty for the Cardinals, and for the Marlins. I think you're gonna see as well the top of the running order for the hitters.
Well, Phillips took a walk there, so he's on base. McIver now steps up with that 2 RBI triple earlier in this one. Throw back and they dropped it, but not enough for anything interesting to happen there.
Brett Phillips has stolen a few bases this year.
He stole one earlier in the game. He stole 3rd. Wasn't able to make anything out of it, but he did end up. He already has 1 base stolen in this one. McIver, we're facing an 0-2 count now. Way inside. A lot further inside than I think they wanted to set it up to be. So Holmes kind of just trying to tide this game over into the 8th and hope the Cardinals can get something going in the top of the 8th. That one's outside 2-2.
Yeah, it's really these moments really they depend on the pitcher to do well, and for the moment Holmes done pretty well.
It's kind of slipping away from him though. 3-2 now to McIver. I imagine Phillips is going to be running here. Pickoff move. He's back in standing though. Just give it a little check there. Swing and a miss on a pitch way high and outside. And that will do it for the 7th inning. 3-1 after 7 here from Miami. We'll be back. Welcome back. Chivali's still in the game. We have not made that move yet for the Marlins.
That is honestly, that is straight up insanity. Couldn't have pulled him out of the game after 106 pitches in the last 2 innings that we've seen. So are they just gonna go from Savali to Williams? Did they really not have? Did they really mistrust that much their relievers? Because if they do, it's going to be a long playoff season.
This one's driven to center, but it'll be caught by Phillips. 1 out.
I think they're relying on their defense now to do the work, and yeah, for the moment it's mostly worked. All of the big hits we've seen haven't really paid off.
Here's Holt. Swings on that one, takes that one to right, but that one's not deep enough, and that'll be caught by Garcia for the 2nd out.
I know everyone in
Up next
I
for
know
the
everyone
Cardinals, the catcher.
in the St.
Corey
Louis team is very stressed right now, but they need to stop swinging at everything, or they're gonna get out of out of the game pretty quickly and out of the playoffs pretty quickly.
Lee is up for the Cardinals now, takes a strike. Ball down low. Lee grounds that one to the second baseman. Toss to first for the out. And that will do it 1-2-3 for Chevali here in the top of the 8th. 3-1. We'll be back.
Big inning, big inning.
Your attention, please.
Welcome back to Miami. Scott Alexander steps in the game for the St. Louis Cardinals. 3.22 ERA this year. 73 games he's pitched in.
Leading off for the Marlins, the second baseman.
Joey Wendell steps up to the plate. Top of the order for the Marlins is up this inning. Wendell fouls that one off to the right side. Swings and misses at that one, 0-2. That one way outside. Not sure why you're swinging at something like that.
Well, it went outside very late.
Fouled off.
Might have hit a little misconcentration here.
FanDuel win probability, you can see there, very much in favor of the Marlins. This one's chopped to second. They'll get Wendell for the out. One down to start the bottom of the 8th.
The batter, number 35. Shortstop,
So Brandon Crawford will step up here.
Crawford.
It's been very much a pitcher's game here. All of our big players haven't really hit a lot or hit anything, really.
It's been mostly kind of the bottom of the order that's been doing them a lot of the work.
Sometimes for these pitchers, the bottom and for the entire managing team, those bottom pitchers, those bottom hitters, aren't necessarily the easiest because you can't really get that much data on them, especially those that get called up in September.
Yeah, it's very hard to get that scouting done, especially when these teams are they're not in the same division, so they don't play each other that much. Strike down the middle. Crawford took that 3-0.
Hey, depending on, I don't have the date of the previous games, but depending on matchups, they might not even have played each other since the call-ups in September. So.
You know, these teams last played each other in August, so that one's a ball down low. So Crawford will take his base, and that'll bring up Tatis.
Now batting, the designated hitter. Better not go. Tatis Jr.
Crawford's not a stellarly fast runner, but he'll serve to be one on first that can do something here. Plus, with a very fast Tatis up at the plate, it might make a double play very difficult unless they can get it off really quickly. Way early on that swing for Tatis, and now he's down 0-2. They have to be defensive on the swings here.
Will help if they don't even make contact with the ball.
Tatis, missed quite a bit of this season with injury. Kind of been a rolling theme for Tatis through most of his career. He's been One that's kind of struggled to stay healthy. But when he's healthy, he's pretty good. But he's 0 for 3 in this one. To left, but that one's going to drop foul. Into the seats. Still 1-2 to Tatis. Swings it again, and that one fouled, chopped to the right side this time. Oh, he hit him.
Big mistake here.
Now back.
New pitcher in for St. Louis. Archie Bradley is now coming in. So trying to get a little bit of change in momentum as 2 on now for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, if they wanted to spare some pitchers by keeping Wheeler in for a bit, that didn't work because they're now at the third pitcher.
Yep.
So
This is pitch number 4.
yeah, pitcher number 4. So
Muncy 1 for 3 in this one. He steps up and he takes a ball. Archie Bradley's pitched in about 90-some games this season. So Cardinals have been going with their experienced arms.
the tough part is that right now, basically any hit would not
Ooh.
guarantee. Oh,
In the dirt, but nobody makes a move. Excuse me. 3-0 to Muncy.
oh my goodness.
And Riley on deck, so even getting around Muncy, you're still bringing up another power hitter. Fouled off that one on 3-0, so takes the count to 3-1.
If they score even one run here,
To left, that's caught. 2 out.
it's gonna be basically over for the Cardinals because scoring 3 runs in this game won't be impossible, but it'll be extremely hard.
Anything's possible, really. Riley's up 0 for 3 in this one.
Well, there's the laws of probability. Considering how, let's be honest, the Cardinals have kind of been outplayed, at least in terms of pitching today.
That one really close to Riley's elbow there. Cardinals keep their bullpen active. Genesis Cabrera warming up down there.
I mean, if they've gotta bring Cabrera in, is that they're in deep trouble.
Riley hardly fouls that one off hard to the left. Swings and misses at the inside pitch, and that will squander the last opportunity the Marlins will have unless they get a bottom of the 9th. 8 innings done, 3-1. Welcome back to Miami. Chivali going for the complete game here.
Center fielder, number 7, Starling Marte.
Must be pretty confident to leave him in like this.
I'm surprised. I mean, he hasn't. Yes, he's had bad innings, and yes, his pitches don't look too great, but he's not actually losing. They only, we had one scare where we thought they might score more than 1 run, and it hasn't happened. And already 2 outs to go in this game.
First out of the top of the 9th.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
Kiner Falefa up now for the Cardinals. 0 for 2 with a walk in this one. That one's high. And that one's low, so 2-0. Fouled off to the left side, 2-1. Can start getting a little more aggressive on the pitches now. That one's in there, 2-2. Strivali's reached that 120 pitch count. Kiner Falefa grounds that one up there. It's through for a base hit. And Kiner Falefa gets on.
Great hit now. And, there we go.
There we go. There's the move. Strivali's coming out. Mattingly's had enough, and he's gonna send out his bullpen to finish the job with one out here in the top of the ninth and a runner on first. We'll be back.
Your attention, please. Now,
Devin Williams in, the Marlins closer. 45 saves on 49 opportunities this year. .61 on the walks and hits per innings pitched. The whip. Very good numbers. Trey Turner, though, stepping up, trying to ruin all that. Takes a strike.
Keep in mind that we've got Turner and then we've got Aber, and both are power hitters. So.
Oh, this one's
oh my
driven
goodness!
to left. Turner knocks it out, and we're tied here in the top of the ninth. What a moment for Trey Turner, and the Cardinals have made things even. And the man the Marlins turn to keep things close has given it up.
And if they had pulled Savali just before the inning, probably wouldn't have happened. So, I don't know if it was because of Aaron that wanted to stay in, or if, so for some reason, manager was obstinated at keeping it in, but, that was definitely a mistake.
That was a mistake pitch right down the middle, 407 feet. That one clears the bullpen, and now our FanDuel win probability has gone right back to even as Abreu takes the plate. So for Williams now, just gotta try and finish this one off. Bullpen still working for the Marlins. Merriweather and Strom now up.
Yeah, and it's kind of bad for Williams. He got put directly in with the three best pure hitter on the team coming up, and yeah, this might, if this goes to extra inning, we might be here for a while because we haven't seen a lot of hits today.
That one's high, 3-1. Abreu fouls that one off, 3-2. If you're looking for White Sox Royals, the AL wildcard game, that game we'll be cutting into it as soon as we can. That one will be available on the ESN app in the meantime as Abreu strikes out. 2 outs now in the top of the ninth as Chris Bryant steps up.
Keep in mind, this is completely not guaranteed to go in extra innings because I mean if we see something from the Marlins like we saw last well really the past few innings, there is a non-zero probability that they will score in this inning.
We apologize for that. Brett fouls one off. It's 2-2.
Microphone's picking up the crowd.
Bryant swings and misses at that one. But Trey Turner with the drive to left field has tied this game in a crucial spot. It's 3-3. We head to the bottom of the ninth here in Miami.
Leading up for the Marlins, the right fielder, Garcia.
Avisail Garcia steps up as we're back here in Miami for, I don't know, what you might say the Marlins would say is an unexpected bottom of the ninth for them.
Well, you know, they seem to be in control of the game, and you got a bit too greedy and kept Savali up for a bit too long, but oh my goodness.
That's a base hit up the middle for Garcia. So his leadoff single here in the bottom of the ninth.
The left fielder, number 29.
Great piece of hitting. That one goes right through. And Garcia, who's not exactly a slow runner, is going to be on first down as Andrew Vaughn will step up.
That back half of the lineup has been very
Vaughn
very
bunts, but he
tricky.
popped
Oh.
it. And
Yep.
Now back
Garcia has to dive back in to not get caught out.
Phillips.
2 outs. Or 1 out, excuse me. Here in the bottom of the ninth. Brett Phillips doubled earlier in this one. He's had 2 walks otherwise. So his only registered at bat. This one's driven to right. That one is gone, and the Marlins win the wild card game in a walk-off.
wow. They just wanted to keep the suspense going for a little bit longer.
And Brett Phillips, the hero, in dramatic fashion. Miami goes to the NLDS. St. Louis are done.
Man, and the heartbreak that St. Louis must have here. They worked really hard. They came back for being down for basically the entire game. And good jump from Phillips. He got himself probably a good contract either with the Marlins or somewhere.
Well, the Marlins will go on. They'll play Pittsburgh in the NLDS. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the Echo Energy NL Wildcard game. The Marlins take this one after a dramatic ninth inning. 5-3 is your final here from Miami. Brett Phillips is the hero. Have a good night, everyone. And if you're here for the AL Wildcard game, we will take you to Chicago to see Royals White Sox as soon as we